afternoon. Greetings to all my comrades. I'd like to give a special thanks to my first Vice Commander, Patrick Cabal, for being here. To the Sons of the American Legion, the auxiliary unit members, all military veterans, esteemed dignitaries, family, and friends. First, I want to give special thanks to the American Legion Post 82 Commander, Raymond Buddy Hendel, for giving me this opportunity to address you today on this momentous occasion. Although it is proper to give due homage to everyone I mentioned, retired General Martin Dempsey so aptly stated in a tweet, "This day, of all days of the year, should not be about any one of us, no matter how prestigious or powerful, no matter how successful we perceive ourselves to be. Rather, this day should be about those who gave their lives so that we could live ours in freedom." I found that statement to be quite profound because too many times we hold ourselves greater than the occasion. I spent many hours contemplating on what I would say today, and no matter how I tried, the words kept escaping me. And then suddenly, like a storm on the horizon, thoughts of Memorial Day flooded my mind. As I sat down to write my speech, it would have been so easy to just recite some facts about Memorial Day, such as the holiday was first named Decoration Day, where we place flowers upon the Civil War graves, or that in 1966 in Waterloo, New York became the official birthplace of Memorial Day, or that it became an official holiday in 1971, and so on and so on. But most of us already know those facts, so it seems useless to labor on and bore you with that trivia. Traditionally, we celebrate Memorial Day on the last Monday of May, but in its truest sense, the official holiday is annually on the 30th of May. Therefore, today, 30 May, is the official day to remember those that gave the ultimate sacrifice during times of war. I won't assume, but I can say that almost 100% of us have always heard the slogan, "All gave some, and some gave all." A slogan predominantly linked to the Vietnam veterans, but I'll go out on a limb and beg to differ, not to downplay that war era, but to state that slogan can be synonymous to all military war veterans who left pieces of their mind, body, and soul on the battlefield, and some gave the ultimate sacrifice. Some were victims, and some stood and took the bullet and the blast to save their comrades. But regardless of the way they died in battle, they are all heroes that paved the way for us to continue to live in the land of the free and the home of the brave. I'll step out even further on the limb and state that this holiday is more than just remembering our departed war veterans. What about the millions of families that lost pieces of their lives on those unseen battlegrounds? Those mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, sons, daughters, grandchildren, family, and friends. What about that coworker that was as close as a family member? What about that pastor, rabbi, minister, or priest and other members of the clergy that prayed for our service members, no matter what denomination or faith? What about that teacher who took such pride in their students' achievements, and they too saw them off to war? What about that young lady or that young man that was engaged and waiting for their soon-to-be life partner to return back home? Yet, so many people that had ties in different ways lost people dear to their hearts, and ultimately too many families were startled with a knock at the door by a person sharply dressed in a well-tailored military uniform who was delivering the sad news that their loved one would not be returning. Yes, many men and women lost their lives and many more lost their loved ones. So here we are, memorializing the military veterans that vanished from the earth, but will always live in our hearts. Not surprising, but outrageous to me, some people don't give proper respect to our fallen heroes or our veterans as a whole. Believe it or not, some of our veterans don't give a hoot about the military service. A couple of days ago, I was in a conversation with a coworker, a retired Navy veteran, and I mentioned how enlightening it is to go places and hear people say one simple sentence that goes such a long way. Thank you for your service. Now, this was a military veteran, a retiree that I was speaking with, and he quickly diminished that thought by saying he is tired of hearing that statement because it is said so much, he feels that it's just a common phrase with no merit. Since some subjects aren't worth debating, I didn't go into it with him. I left him with my simple thought that I believe that most people say thank you for your service, and they really mean it. I say it often, and I never get tired of hearing it. I can remember long ago, I was riding in a funeral procession with my mother. As we rolled down the street, a man stood on the sidewalk and rendered a salute as a hearse passed by. I'll never forget my mother's words. It is refreshing to know that there are still people in the world that have dignity. In 1981, Kelly Strong, a 17-year-old high school senior, Junior Reserve Officers Training Corps cadet, penned the words to a poem entitled, "Freedom is Not Free." In his words, freedom is not free. I watched the flag pass by one day. It fluttered in the breeze. A young soldier saluted it. Then he stood at ease. I looked at him in uniform, so young, so tall, so proud. With hair cut square and eyes alert, he stand out in any crowd. I thought how many men like him had fallen through the years. How many died on foreign soil? How many mothers' tears? How many pilots' planes shot down? How many foxholes were soldiers' graves? No freedom is not free. I have heard the sound of taps one night when everything was still. I listened to the buglers play and felt a sudden chill. I wondered just how many times that taps had meant amen when a flag had draped a coffin of a brother or a friend. I thought of all the children that taps. I thought of all the children, of the mothers and the wives, of fathers, sons, and husbands with interrupted lives. I thought about a graveyard at the bottom of the sea, of unmarked graves in Arlington. No freedom is not free. I retired from the United States Air Force in September 1995. Those years that I served were pretty much good as gold and mostly worry-free until the last time I raised my right hand and took the solemn oath of re-enlistment, because it was during the time of the Gulf War. Now, all of a sudden, that oath that I have recited numerous times before suddenly became real. I can recall the lump in my throat as I repeated those profound words of the enlisted person's oath of enlistment. I, John R. Countryman, Jr., do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States against all enemies, foreign and domestic, that I will bear true faith and allegiance to the same, and that I will obey the orders of the President of the United States and the orders of the officers appointed over me, according to the regulation of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So help me God. It seemed like so few words, but acute and sincere, with new meaning during times of war. Those were the words that led us from our homelands to foreign lands. Those were the words of your heroes. But there is a bright star that shines in the east, a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, a softened pillow to lay your heads upon, even when we silently weep. Why? Because if you believe in a higher power, we hold on to the promise that the Lord will not put more on us than we can bear before he gives us a way out. And that one day, in the twinkling of an eye and the sound of a heart, we'll see our loved ones again. As I close, let us remember and to cherish the memories of those that answered the final call during war in order to preserve our freedom. Let's never forget their sacrifice for their families, friends, and associates. Emily Tolman penned these words: remember those that served before. Remember those who are no more. Remember those who serve today. Remember them all on Memorial Day. May God bless you all, and may God bless the United States of America.